Hey dolls, welcome back to your pretty discombobulated royal BFF, the People's Duchess. How you doing? Look, we got some breaking news. The Sussexes have been received at Highgrove. They had tea with Harry's father, King Charles, and his wife, Queen Side Chick Camilla. Initially, I didn't know how to feel about this. There's obviously nothing that these people can do that would ever convince me that they had Harry, Meghan, or those children's best interest at heart, but here we are. This is probably a step in the correct direction as far as repairing the relationship that is so fractured that we just talked about in the royal back rooms. And clearly, the press, the media, they know far less than the headlines that they write. This is why we should always just trust Harry and Meghan's announcement and no one else's. Literally, no one else's. Because quite clearly, they know nothing. And despite their proximity to the king and queen, clearly the royal rota not only know nothing, but they're not trusted with this information. They're not trusted with these sensitive things because they don't care about an embargo and they'll leak it. So not only do they not know anything, but they're not even as trusted as they want you to think that they are. Just look how they were shut out of this breaking news. It's giving Angela Levin spending 10 minutes with Harry and writing a whole biography about it. I didn't even know Meghan and the children went to England anyways. Like, when did that happen? I'm thinking they're at home in Montecito. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The breaking news has flooded the internet. It's breaking the internet at this point. And before we get into the details, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Hit the join button as well. We always have fun in members only. But okay, the details of this trip are being very tightly guarded. We don't have time specifics, we don't have length or duration. There's clearly and obviously no pictures. It was just confirmed by Buckingham Palace that they were hosted by the king and queen side chick at Highgrove. So that's all we know. And I am with Kaiser on this one. If you guys haven't seen Kaiser's article on this, I definitely recommend that you go back and read it. She is very succinct about it, and I agree 100%. This was a panicked move. This was not a doting father or a grandfather or someone at the end of his, days trying to make amends. This was very much a, oh my God, the headlines are that he's going to go visit the Spencers at Althorpe, that they're going to all go stay at Althorpe. We cannot let that be the prevailing headlines. They have Kitty and Egg out there doing their rounds, trying to make the headlines themselves. And I don't know about them. I don't know. I've only seen some of the things that they've been doing since Harry's been in town. Now that I've come to this breaking news, I have deliberately not seen anything or heard anything for obvious reasons. I mean, those people's names are blocked across all of my socials, across all of my information gathering platforms. I didn't know that they were out and about doing whatever. But yeah, they're out and about doing whatever, trying to generate some interest, and that has failed. So now the panic has set in. If they get that $1 million shot of the Sussexes arriving or leaving Althorpe or anything like that, he felt like it would be curtains for his reputation. So this is exactly a page out of his mom's book too, because if you recall, she was set to wear the Spencer tiara because they were being so rude about having her tiara fitted for the wedding. This is the panic that set into them when they heard that Meghan was going to wear the Spencer tiara, or that she had the option to wear the Spencer tiara. The imagery of Meghan having that famous tiara on is what caused them to finally do the right thing, getting her fitted for a tiara from the Queen's collection. That and only that. They didn't want her to wear a tiara at all. So panic is their motivator. They have never, given the option, chose integrity and did the right thing. They always had to be forced into it. The only thing that you want is not to have your image look any further tarnished by the Sussexes going to the Spencers. That's it. I don't trust any of this. It always boils down to the monarch's image and the image of the monarchy. This is about preventing Charles Spencer from getting that $1 million picture with those kids, albeit the backs of their heads, but preventing him from having pictures show up on Meghan's Instagram reel with her children before King Charles does. That is what this is about. He sees Meghan's Instagram. He knows it's poppin'. He knows what a picture with the Spencers and the Sussex children would do to his reputation. Contrary to all the concern Those kids are the golden ticket, and they know it. This is about thwarting any plans to have those pictures unify the nation, those heartwarming pictures unifying the nation, and in your tiny pea brain, making you look bad. The only reason why you and your wife were there participating in this charade is because you don't want people recalling that Charles Spencer was the only one who wrapped his arm around a 12-year-old Harry while they were walking behind his mother's coffin. You don't want those images to come back up. But guess what? Here they are, coming right back up. You tried to bury these images, but they're not going anywhere, Charles. This is also part of your legacy. You forced your sons to do this because look at the crowd. Look at the faces of the people in the crowd. Look at the daggers. If looks could kill, you'd have been Swiss cheese by now. Y'all remember that movie Godfather when they did Sonny like that at the toll booth? If looks could kill, you'd be Sonny at the toll booth right now. The North remembers. We know what you're doing. We know what this angle is. And I'm not going to begrudge Harry this. I'm not going to say that he did the wrong thing to see his father and take his kids to see his dad. I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is we see you, Charles. We understand the business of this meeting and why you're doing what you're doing right now. After all this time, and despite the fact that you and your mistress got everything you wanted, you're still terrified of not just your ex-wife, but her family. Her brother seems to hold so much power over you. Like you're terrified of Harry and the children and his wife going to Althorpe. Why? Just cut the crap. Cut the pretense. We're sick and tired of the fakery. Just be real to thine own self, if no one else be true. And this is why I was side-eyeing the whole Buckingham Palace invite, if it were true, which I don't know, 50-50. This is why he extended the invite in the first place. Not because he wanted to see his son, not because he wanted to make amends, because he was terrified that the Spencers would look better than him in hosting Harry instead of his own father. I am very skeptical of this. I don't trust this. I don't trust anything Charles and them do. They're always talking smack. They're also planning and conniving. Lest we forget, just a few years ago, after that nastiness from Clarkson came out, she was seen dining and breaking bread with him like a week later. Her, him, and that other pig-faced roach that walked off his own show because he couldn't handle a little bit of truth being told about him and his obsession with Meghan. So, no. If there is no ability for Charles and Camilla to stop doing what they're doing to Harry and Meghan, then why are we having this meeting? I agree with Kaiser. Not only is there trickery afoot, but also I would have said hell no if I were Meghan, because aren't you the same raggedy hoes that were voicing your concern about how dark Archie would be to Harry? Aren't you the same ragtag stunted duo that sat there and pulled their security, pulled their house that wasn't even yours to be pulling? Like, that was a wedding present from the queen, and they were paying market value for that home. So I don't know how it was a gift and they have to pay for it, but they were doing both. But you pulled that anyways too. That wasn't you? And I'm not trying to rehash all of that old stuff. I do think that it's mature of all of them to try to get past that and consider it water under the bridge. They're better than me. Because this, oh my God, I would literally rather put a cigar out in my eye. But look, I understand Meghan's position. I understand why she's doing what she's doing, and I applaud her for that. But animals have an inherent nature. A snake is still a snake, regardless of the fact that it sheds its skin every so often. I'm not going to give you credit for doing this. I'm not going to give you brownie points for being a regular, decent human being or a father to your child. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. And also, if you hadn't taken away Frogmore, we wouldn't be having this conversation in the bloody first place. So no, you don't get to start the fire and then be praised for dumping a bucket of water on it. You won't even give them the security that they need to be there freely. You have an obligation to your son and his wife and their children because you are the one who set this whole thing in motion. And you're responsible right now for denying them the security that they need to begin with. So you're not even really dumping water on the fire. What you've done is gone and gotten a squirt gun to go fight a house fire. So I don't know. I don't know. Call me Bennett and I ain't in it, okay? I'm glad for Harry. If this is what brings him peace, if this is what will bring him closure and bring this ugly chapter of all of their lives to a close, a permanent close that includes continued support in upholding whatever deal they have worked out here, then we need to see that. Otherwise, I don't buy it for a second. I mean, I wouldn't buy it regardless. Charles is a untrustworthy hag, but if this is what Harry wants, if he likes it, I love it. Ugh. Anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, buy me a coffee if you're so inclined. Join me on my socials on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Please drink your water, take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and until next time, bye for now.